My girlfriend and I are sitting in a car driving in Chicago, and she says to me, I think people here are nicer than in New York. And I had to remind her of all the pieces of shit cutting in front of us without using a turn signal, honking 1 nanosecond after the light turns green, just driving like maniacs. And I tell her, behind every steering wheel is a person. So I disagree. I think everyone here is a fucking asshole too. Driving sucks, guys. I used to live in New York and had to take public transport everywhere. Sometimes I miss those days just because I don't have to deal with driving. Sure, you get the occasional crazy person, people doing backflips on the train, all that kind of shit, but at least you don't have to pay car insurance. The worst parts about driving are the amount of money you have to pay and the amount of danger you have to put yourself in. So you're telling me I have to go out into the road in a ghetto battle tank where I can die in the span of 2 seconds at any time. And for the privilege of doing this, I have to not only pay for the car, I have to pay for car insurance, got to pay for registration, got to pay for the license plate, I have to pay the city of Chicago for a sticker to even exist outside, and then I have to pay a separate price for a sticker to even park in the city, and then I have to pay for parking itself. And God forbid I get to a parking garage after 9 a.m., then the price is going to be like $80 for the day. Doing the math, I don't think it's worth it. Now, of course, if you're not paying all that money, you're going to have to pay with time to get on public transport, which is dog shit in Chicago. The trains aren't too bad. It's more the people on the trains that suck. The buses suck, though. You ever heard of a phantom bus? Where you check the bus times, the bus app, whatever. It says a bus is coming at 12:42. It's 12:47. The bus hasn't come. It just completely missed that time entirely. That happens all the time. I would have loved to take the bus to go to work in my previous job, but it just never came. So I had to walk my ass like 15 minutes to the train, which is fine, but it'd be cool if I had an option. Now I have to drive to work and people suck. I really hate people. Chicago is known for its gun violence, but I'm surprised there aren't more shootings because apparently everyone carries a gun here. So the amount of infuriating things that happen on the road, I'm surprised people don't take their guns out and just, deal with the express their anger more often on the road. I'm really surprised. I mean, the amount of pieces of shit on the road who have caused myself and my sweet girlfriend to say very, very mean things in the comfort of our car is astonishing. Now, everyone who says that everyone on the road is an idiot probably thinks they're the best driver in the world. I don't think so. I am absolutely 100% better than the majority of drivers because I use my turn signal. That makes me better. I actually stop at stop signs when people are not around. I'm better than the vast majority of drivers, but I'm not the best. There are people who are much better than me, for sure. I haven't met them, but they exist for sure. So I don't say this to say I am vastly superior to every single driver on this planet. Just most, not all. Do you know what these people actually believe? There was an event recently where, there's a lot of people involved. I had a friend hitch a ride with someone else, right? Because we had limited space in the car. We all had to drive in separate cars, basically. Carpooling, right? So my friend in the other car was noticing that the driver was not using their turn signal. They were driving like a fucking maniac. And my friend asked them, hey, how come you don't use your turn signal ever? You know what the driver said? Well, I mean, they should know what I'm doing. It's kind of obvious. That's what these fucking idiots believe. They believe that everyone drives like a fucking asshole, and they know this, so they understand what's going to happen. That's what these people actually believe. Now, there's a small truth to this. I expect everyone to take. Now, you probably didn't notice this because of the editing process, but I had to pause for a bit because there was a car horn honking for a legitimate 11 seconds outside. So that's cool. Anyway, I assume the average driver here will take the most asshole action possible at any given time. So in a way, I can kind of predict what they're gonna do without their turn signal because I assume, you know, what'd be a really fucking dick thing to do at this moment, this, and half the time they do that. So you know, yeah, that assumption does help, but it doesn't help when they don't use a turn signal and then they just randomly turn right into your lane, turn off your lane, turn into you, whatever. There have been multiple times where I figure, hey, as long as I stay in my lane and drive forward, I will be totally fine. Wrong. It's hard for me to visualize this without drawing this intricate lifelike city diagram, but essentially, there are certain lanes, there are 2-lane roads that they turn into kind of 3-lane roads because there's going to be a left turn there, right? Now, usually you would put on your turn signal and turn into that new lane, but that's not what happens here. Everyone just kind of veers to the left a bit to make up for the road, adding a new lane. So I figure, let me just try something. Let me try just driving forward normally in my lane, not doing anything legally wrong. And what happened? The guy to the right of me was turning left into my fucking lane. And if I had noticed that and moved a bit, he would have actually hit me while I was just driving forward, following the law. So no, you can't just follow the rules here. You will die. You have to preemptively, proactively anticipate these people and their stupidity. That's wild. And the stop sign thing, as I alluded to before, is absolutely insane. I don't know why we have stop signs here. People don't really stop. They most of the time don't even do that rolling stop. They just approach the intersection. They don't see any cars, or they don't see a car coming just quite yet. They just go. You know, when there are 4 cars at an intersection with a stop sign, and there's like, you know, right of way. There's an order to things. That doesn't happen here. Everyone just drives. They just drive, whatever. Who cares? God forbid you're trying to cross the street too. Get fucked. It's never gonna happen. They're never gonna let you do it. Same when you're trying to change lanes. You know what people here do? When I put on my turn signal, as most of them don't, you know, because I'm trying to tell them, hey, I'm gonna turn into here. So if you're gonna stay in this lane, just keep that in mind. I'm gonna get in here. What they do is they speed up so that you can't get in. And I don't know why the fuck they do that. I really don't know why. I mean, besides them being a fucking asshole, but why? I don't get it. Like, if there's a big gap in front of my car and someone uses a turn signal in the lane over, I say, okay, yeah, I'll slow down just a little bit, give them time, they get in, we keep going. Apparently, when it's the other way around, they're like, fuck this guy. I'm gonna speed up. He's not getting in front of me. I'm not gonna lose 2 seconds in my commute. Fuck him. That's apparently what people think. So that's cool, I suppose. So not only does owning a car cost a lot, but what you get, your bang for buck, is trash, because what you have to deal with is dangerous as absolute hell. There's a road I take. Some of you Chicagoans might know, Lakeshore Drive. If you drive down there, littered across the side of the road, and I'm talking for miles, along the side of the road, you see bumpers, mirrors, car parts. You see car parts along the entire side of the road because, I don't know, car accidents, people just aren't paying attention. They're hitting the side, hitting that barricades, parts of their car come off. It's a lot. It's a lot. I wish I could take a video of it, but, you know, I'm fucking driving, so I can't do that. And what makes all of this worse is that the average person is a fucking addict when it comes to their phone. Now, I notice people on red lights immediately go on their phone. Now, I'll be fair. Red light, you want to change your song, readjust your GPS, understandable. But some of you guys are wild. The other day, I was a passenger in the seat, so I was able to look. As soon as our car stopped and the car next to us stopped, I saw as soon as the car stopped, or rather like half a second before the car stopped, the guy's neck broke. He looked straight down, and I saw his thumb moving wildly. So this guy was just waiting to fucking scroll. Waiting. He had that trigger finger ready. So before the car even stopped, he was looking down, going, Swipe, 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 swipe. It was it was depressing. And this doesn't just stop at the red light. When the light turns green, I notice often on the lane next to me, oh, that lane hasn't started moving yet. I wonder why. Take a peek over. Oh, that driver, the first driver in that lane, they're on their phone still. Awesome. And this continues past when the light turns green. While people are just straight up driving on the highway, I've seen this as a passenger. People are on their phone, not desperately trying to, fiddle with their GPS, because that would be still dangerous, but I understand. Like, you don't know where the fuck you're going. You're on the highway. You're trying to figure it out before you waste half an hour going somewhere else. I can get that. You should get your shit together beforehand, but I get it. No, people are just scrolling, whatever, just doom scrolling, whatever the hell you call it. Just looking at shit on the highway, right? Just driving. People do this shit. So not only are people just fucking assholes on the road, but they're not even paying attention. They don't care. There's no consideration whatsoever. They don't give a fuck. They're in the living room. They don't give a shit. They're just chilling in their car, on their phone. Who cares? Using a light, paying attention? Fuck that. It is wild. It is really, really wild. Now I kind of hope that these smart cars become a thing, because I don't want humans driving. They fucking suck. I don't want them on the road. There's this market nearby. It takes about 10 minutes or less to drive through. The way to get there, I don't know what it is. Everyone in that area is possibly the worst fucking driver on the planet. There's only 2 lanes, or rather 1.75 lanes, because, the way people park is fucking insane. And on that sub 10-minute drive, I almost fucking died, because people were just swerving, coming in and out of lanes, just doing the worst, most unpredictable shit. And from that moment forward, I'm like, you know what? This market is on Instacart. Let me actually use that. And that is why I started using Instacart, because I don't want to fucking die to get food. If you think I'm exaggerating or being a little baby about it, you probably suck dick at driving. And I stand by that. You probably do. Because if you don't realize what people are doing, if you think, you could pass a stop sign sometimes. You don't need your light every time. You can't drive. I'm sorry. Those are the most basics. You don't got the basics, you can't drive. Simple as that. I'm going to give you some numbers here. Over 38,000 people die in car crashes every year in the US. That seems kind of low from what I've seen. But yeah, maybe. Transportation makes up 29% of US greenhouse gas emissions, so that car pollution is fucking up the ozone layer. Remember during COVID when people weren't driving and companies weren't doing much, and the ozone layer was like repairing itself for a bit? That was pretty cool. But no, we got to go back to the office, of course. So the average cost of car ownership is $9,000 per year. That's probably taking into account car payments, insurance, all this other kind of shit. 9,000 is a lot. 76% of Americans drive alone to work. And why this number is important is because that's what makes up traffic. Every one person adds one new car. Imagine carpooling were more common of a thing. You remove, 4 other cars off the road. Imagine our public transportation was actually good. There'd be so many more people off the road. It'd make traffic much, much lower. 91% of US households have access to at least one vehicle. At least one. Some families have 2. I'm glad that cars can legitimately cars can provide you some freedom. You can't get everywhere with public transportation. Some places, if you want to take an Uber there, it would cost a lot of money, not only to get there, but to come back. I understand that, but man, overall, I feel like, having a car kind of sucks. Legitimately, if I sold my car, I could take the train to work. It would take me double the time, but I could take it to work. Again, Instacart. Use the money I got from selling the car to get Uber now and then. Use the money I would save from insurance, registration, everything else to... Now that I'm doing the math, should I... Nah. Having a car still works for me because I get to keep my gym bag in there, and that's very valuable for me. And I get to carry stuff around there. That is very helpful to carry stuff around if you have to do that. But I don't know, man. The math I don't know. Sometimes the math favors not having a car. For example, if you live in New York City or in the most urban parts of Chicago or other cities in general, and you don't have a car, you live close to some trains and buses, yeah, it makes sense to not have a car. If you have to drive anywhere, having a car can save you a lot of time though, but man, is it worth it? I don't know. Now, here's what would be awesome. If the United States changed their public transport so that it wasn't dog shit. I went to Japan about a year and change ago, and the public transportation was beautiful. It was divine. And the people there just the people will make it work. You know, in America, when you have a subway or an elevated train, there are people, usually assholes, who hold up the train. They don't get in. They're holding the door. They're just fucking around. They don't move when the door's trying to close. They just make it take forever. They carry knives on to the train just to, have fun or whatever. In Japan, though, you would think, oh, yeah, I heard the trains, they arrive at a certain time and then they leave at a certain time. I don't know if that's true. It is true. Let me assure you, when the train arrives, the people in Japan, they're already lined up to the side, orderly. People get out of the train, people get in, train doors close, they go. It's less than a minute. They know what the fuck they're doing over there. They do not want to be late because they have consideration for other people. Italy, I cannot say the same. Italy's buses were almost as dog shit as the United States buses. A lot of phantom buses. People don't even pay. That was a weird one. I went onto the bus multiple times. I paid using the tap to pay. Most people just walk right on. I'm like, am I being scammed here? What's happening? People just didn't pay for the majority of what I saw. So it'd be cool if public transportation matched Japan, or I hear Singapore has great public transport. Germany, of course. That'd be great. It'd be cool if people didn't bring knives on the train. I remember one time being on the train and this guy walked into the train car. He gave this random lady a really mean look and just kept walking. I'm like, what the fuck was that guy's problem? Next stop, the train stops and we hear an announcement. Excuse me, we're stopping now. We think there's a guy with a knife on the train, so we're stopping to see what's going on. I'm like, oh, that was probably him. That's cool. Obviously, he probably left the train, so he's not getting caught or anything, because incarceration is lame, right? But that's just living. That's just taking public transport in the city, of course. That's one reason I do prefer driving a lot of the time. You don't have to deal with other people who are going to stab you or sell drugs on the train. But man, that cost and that danger. It's a different kind of danger on the road, though. So the tip of getting better public transportation only works if I'm talking to a country. For the individual person, I'll say, pay attention. Get the fuck off your phone when you're driving. Just, if you're going to use your phone while driving, save it for red lights. Switch a song. Double check the GPS, whatever. I'd rather you didn't do that, but if at all, just do it during red lights, please. If you use your phone, you're just scrolling shit while the light is green and you're driving, you're like a massive piece of shit, and I hope you don't wake up tomorrow. That may be rude. Yes. But these people don't respect themselves either. I've seen many, many cars with bumpers hanging off the front, huge ass dents. The car's like corroding, the bottom part. It's just rusty as hell. They don't give a shit. I can tell how you drive looking at your car, usually. For me, that wouldn't be the case. I got to fix my mirror. Apparently, over a 3-day weekend, when my car was parked outside, I went to check and my left mirror was broken. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, I guess. I can still see through it, thankfully, so it's not dangerous, but you don't even have to be in your car to be in danger. To be in danger of your car getting damaged or you getting injured. This is how it is. Thankfully, I've not been in a car crash before or had to do this insurance shit before. I have been in a car crash before, though, as a child. My mother was in the right lane. There was a truck in the left lane. We're driving forward. The truck turns right because they're stupid. And they basically nudge our car, I don't even know, like 100 feet to the right. When I was younger, I thought, oh, wow, this is a car crash. This is intense. I was like, I don't know, 6 years old or something. When I'm older, I'm thinking, wait a second. Why the fuck was he turning right when he was on the left lane? What a fucking asshole, man. Yeah, New York drivers suck too. Although New York drivers actually use their lights, so you can tell that they're going to be an asshole. So it's a big improvement. Every time I go back to New York for holiday or family or something, I notice, wow, everyone's using their lights. That's amazing. I know what they're doing because they're signaling their turns. That's so cool. Come back to Chicago, everyone's like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I just pray I get home. I think this whole thing has been like a therapy session for me rather than discussing driving and giving tips. I don't know what more you can do about this. Move to a country with better transportation, public transportation. I was going to say take Ubers when you can or Lyft, but chances are the person you'll get will drive like an asshole too. So I don't know, man. Sure, can you walk everywhere? I don't know. It's tough, man, just getting place to place. But driving costs a lot. So don't get a car unless you have the money. Because if you don't pay attention, you're going to go bankrupt. You might go bankrupt anyway because owning a car is ridiculous. But yeah, just really pay attention. If you don't, you're not going to make it. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever been in a car crash? Whose fault was it? Was it yours? Be honest. All right. I hope you make it. See you next time.